Hello everyone, my name is Willem Oostdyck and I represent Oostdyck and Associates, a pioneer and global leader in migration and education services since 2002. In today's video I share some of the latest Australian immigration updates in relation to student visas for 2022 and 2023. Further, we have a closer look at reasons for student visa refusals, highlight some of the tips to avoid visa refusals, and consider some of the guidelines in relation to new rules, requirements and eligibility. We will also take a close look at what to include in a genuine temporary entrant statement and a statement of purpose. Both very important documents to include in your student visa application. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and for any questions you can email me directly at willem@oostdyck.com.au. Now, before we look at some of the guidelines and eligibility requirements for student visa applications, let's briefly consider how and why you would choose a particular course to study in Australia. Many students have goals to progress beyond their student visa to other visas with the aim to obtain permanent residency. In this instance, it is important to take a broader look when choosing a course in context to your chosen career path. Many occupations can lead to PR. However, it is essential, if you choose such a pathway, you make the right choice in respect to your career goals. For instance, a generalist degree in the arts may not necessarily provide a pathway to PR. Let's say, for example, you are interested in a career in the hospitality industry and thought of becoming a chef. This would require you to complete a vocational education training qualification. Or if you decide for a career as a hotel manager, you would need to study a higher education qualification. So before you choose a course, think about your strengths, your interests and your ambitions. Ask yourself, what activities am I good at? What activities do I enjoy? What are my hopes for the future, and what course will lead to PR? Do yourself a favor and engage with one of our accredited student counsellors who are experienced in plotting your study pathway towards permanent residency. Now, before you apply for a student visa, it is essential to first check if you meet the Australian student visa requirements. As a minimum, you'll need a passport, you'll need a birth certificate, you'll need confirmation of enrollment from your education provider, you will need overseas student health cover, and you need to evidence English language proficiency and evidence financial capacity. You need to provide a genuine temporary entrant requirement statement and a statement of purpose. At Oostdyck and Associates, you will be thoroughly assessed by one of our many accredited student counsellors, ensuring you meet the guidelines and eligibility requirements for your student visa application. Your country's citizenship will determine what assessment level will apply to your student visa application. Immigration has made changes to the risk levels, assessment levels, for certain countries. These changes depend on a balance of offshore refusals and onshore immigration risks, rate of visa cancellations, people who have overstayed their visas, and people who have made protection visa applications since their visas were refused onshore. One of our accredited student counsellors can assess your particular situation and for you to meet requirements, and whether there's any need for you to provide either financial and English language ability evidence with your visa application. They are familiar with students applying from Nepal. So do yourself a favor, see one of our counsellors. Okay, so now let's first take a closer look at some recent changes that have been introduced to the student visa application process. You may recall that in January of 2022, the Australian government temporarily relaxed working hours restrictions for student visa holders to address workforce shortages. These changes will now come to an end on the 30th of June 2023. From July 2023, the number of working hours for international students will be kept again. The number of hours will be revised to create the right balance between work and study. Until this time, international students can work more than 40 hours a fortnight in any sector of the economy. This includes new students who can also work before their course of study commences. However, it's important that you must maintain course enrollment, you must ensure satisfactory course attendance and ensure satisfactory course progress. Failing to do so may breach your visa conditions. Other changes include recent changes to the student visa conditions. The new visa conditions, Condition 8204A and 8204B, apply to student visa holders studying a higher education course or postgraduate research course and who intend changing their course of study, thesis or research topic. These conditions prescribe that student visa holders must not change their course unless the Minister is satisfied that there is not an unreasonable risk of an unwanted transfer of critical technology by the holder, and the Minister has approved the change in writing. Australian student visa holders must always adhere to their visa conditions. Failing to do so may lead to the cancellation of your confirmation of enrollment and or your student visa. Ensure abiding by visa conditions is as important as preparing a decision-ready student application. Failing to do so may lead to visa refusal or rejection. Now, there are many instances when an application for an Australian student visa is rejected or refused. Nepal recently reported a very high incident rate of refusals. Let's have a closer look at some of the main reasons. Firstly, providing inadequate or misleading information will lead to visa refusal. The information you provide must be accurate and it must be consistent across all immigration-related documents. Failure to meet health or character requirements will also lead to visa refusal. Although there is opportunity to seek review of such a decision, it will become difficult to be granted a visa under such circumstances. Failure to meet genuine temporary entrant requirements is one of the most common reasons for visa refusal or rejection. This statement needs to specify that the sole purpose of you coming to Australia is to obtain a quality education only, and that you will arrange leaving Australia after the completion of your study. Your visa will be rejected if you fail to justify that you have strong ties with your home country. Your statement should explain reasons for why you chose Australia instead of your home country for your studies, why you selected a specific education provider, why you selected a particular course of study, and any education or employment gaps that you have taken between courses. Your statement should include information about your previous academic qualifications. You must explain reasons for a gap in your past study and the justification for such a gap. Your current and past employment must be documented. Proof of your ties to your home country or country of residence. Your financial circumstances needs to be accurately documented in your home country or here in your country of residence. Any work offers that you have in other third countries would be useful. And your immigration history. You must notify immigration if you had any previous visas refused. Another common failure is not meeting financial requirements. And as a primary student applicant, you are required to show at least an annual income of at least $60,000 and over $70,000 plus if you have dependents. You must also evidence sufficient funds to cover your travel cost and at least 12 months of living and tuition fees for you and your accompanying family members, and your school cost for any school-age dependents. It may include a recent bank statement under your own, your parents, or any other party's names, depending on who to support your studies here in Australia. Check with one of our student counsellors for the exact amount of funds required for your application and for your particular situation. A sound financial standing may show that you have a genuine intention to study in Australia. Therefore, it is better to show a higher amount in your application. Applicants who have demonstrated sufficient funds by providing evidence of the annual income of their spouse, de facto partner, or parent would need to show that they would generally have access to those funds generated from the income. This income requirement is restricted to an applicant's spouse, de facto partner, or parents, and thus there is generally no further scrutiny to generally access based on the relationship to the applicant, although you may need to evidence your relationship to the persons supporting you. If you finance your studies, then loans taken out should be in your name or the name of individual providing financial support to you. The department may wish to seek additional information to be satisfied that the loan is for the support of the student and is not a loan that has been committed to other purposes. To give you an example, this may occur if the loan is for a considerable amount more than is required. The loan was perhaps taken out a significant period before the visa application was made, or the loan was provided as support for another student. The loan is made to or applied for by a business, also not a very good reason. Loans in the name of the applicant's spouse, de facto partner, or the applicant's parents would generally meet the genuine access requirements, unless there's evidence indicating that the funds from the loan may not generally be available to the student visa applicants. Again, we strongly advise to talk to one of our counsellors who can assist with calculating your financial needs. Another reason for a refusal is the application to enroll in an unrelated program. If you want to study in Australia, you must be fully aware of the course program in which you are applying. Certainly there is a chance of visa refusal if you apply for a program which is completely unrelated to your previous qualification, or it indicates a major career change. You need to make a concrete plan and apply for the degree program according to it. Finally, here's a brief look at a statement of purpose, which is another important document to include in your application. Firstly, it should include an introduction reflecting your personal background, including where you're from and your family composition. Secondly, you must mention your academic background, as well as any accomplishments that you have achieved. Thirdly, you should discuss your personal and professional experiences, followed by a detailed description of your career goals and relevant prospects. Finally, you should explain and justify your choice for a specific course and choice of education provider. You should conclude your statement of purpose with a summary of content provided. Again, talk to one of our accredited student counsellors. They can assist with articulating a very accurate and concise statement of purpose. In summary, as we have explained, there have been recent changes to the student visa conditions that will limit changing of courses. It is important that you make yourself aware of these changes, as failing to do so may lead to a breach of your visa condition. The gap on the student working hours will be reinstated in July 2023, which means only 20 hours per week will be allowed. The student visa application process requires careful attention to ensure you meet guidelines and eligibility requirements of the visa. There are many variables to consider before you lodge an application by yourself. We strongly recommend you attend a consultation with one of our accredited student counselors who can assist in determining whether you will meet all the eligibility requirements, and importantly, you should avoid responding to rumors in the community that you might hear among your friends and fellow students. Rumors are what they are, just rumors. Each person presents with different circumstances. What applies to them might not be relevant to you. The best advice is to seek assistance from one of our accredited student counselors. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. We hope to see you soon at our office for a face-to-face consultation, or, if more convenient, we can arrange a Zoom meeting with one of our accredited student counselors. You can contact us directly on 612-9262-1517 or email me directly, Willem @oli.com.au. Alternatively, if your inquiry is from Nepal, you can email nepal@oli.com.au. Thank you again for watching this video. Goodbye for now.